Councillor Ramsey. Item 2, to receive declarations of interest. So this is any either pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest in any matter listed on the agenda. Councillor Bond. We don't need to stand anymore.
I don't normally take part in planning applications in any case because of my role on DMC, but item 11B, I have a pecuniary interest and I will leave the chamber for duration.
Thank you. Anybody else? No, okay, thank you. Item 3, Town Mayor's announcements. I have 2 announcements. So on Thursday, the 23rd of June, myself and Councillor Russell attended the Stratton Art Exhibition to see the work that had been produced by GCSE and A-level art and photography students at Stratton Upper School. It was a really enjoyable evening getting to see all the work that they've put in over the last couple of years. It was great to hear from some of the teachers about the passion that many still have for their subjects, despite the challenges of trying to teach them creative subjects during lockdown. And I have to say the quality of what was produced was quite remarkable. And I wish them all well on behalf of the council and hope that they got the grades that they deserve. Secondly, on Saturday, the 23rd of June, I had the pleasure of attending the Trains at Trinity Model Railway exhibition, which was at the Trinity Methodist Church. This is a biannual event, but it's the first time that it met for a few years because of various COVID restrictions falling at inconvenient times for them. So it was a very pleasant morning, getting to meet many of the exhibitors who had brought their model railways from far and wide, as far as Essex and Surrey, some of them quite delicate to bring across to Bedfordshire as well. So it was an enjoyable event, which I understand was very well attended by all residents in Biggleswade and beyond. So thank you to them for inviting me to their event. Item 4, public open session. To adjourn for a period of up to 15 minutes to allow members of the public to put questions or to address the council pertaining to matters listed on the agenda. Each speaker will have 1 3-minute slot. Does any member of the public wish to address the council about anything on the agenda? Yes, we have somebody. Would you like to stand at the microphone, state your name and make your point, please?
Yeah. Okay, my name's Carol Birtwistle and I'm here representing the Maythorns residents. And I wish to comment on the application that David Wilson Holmes have put in with regard to some amendments to the park. We are concerned as residents that we've had a lot of graffiti being placed in the park by unknown parties that have been damaging the play equipment. The lighting is intended to sort of mitigate against that. But the lighting is only on the children's play area, and there are 2 areas of mounds within the park. The first area is within the play area. That is the mound that they wish to remove. But the second area is beyond the play area. Sorry, the second mound area is beyond the play area. And it's the area behind that mound where the majority of the disruptive antisocial behaviour takes place. So we feel that the application as it stands does not address the concerns the residents have got. And also the houses that are adjacent to the park in Sale?
Southam Close?
Sale Mews, yeah.
Sale Mews, beg your pardon,
yeah.
Sorry.
They have been built since the park was in existence, and there's 2 properties that are within 2 meters of the play area. And they are very concerned about the lighting being added to the play area. They'll say it would affect the quality of their interaction with their gardens and so on. And then the final point, if I may, is that CCTV was part of the original planning consent for the site, and this application seeks to remove that element from the agenda. So we have mixed views about CCTV, but if there is a commitment that the developer needs to address and deliver it, why are they now seeking not to deliver it? Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you very much. I think colleagues will have heard what you've said, noted that, and will factor that into the discussion in a few minutes' time. So thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council about any matter on the agenda? No. Okay, then I will move on. So item 5A, invited speaker, a very timely entrance from Bedfordshire Police's community cohesion teams, PC Stephen Beer. Would you like to come and take a seat, PC Beer? No, I thought was we could not have timed it better. Take it away. So firstly, welcome. So this is to receive an oral update from yourself. So if you'd like to put your microphone on and feel free to address the council. Thank you, PC Bear.
Well, hello everyone. Lovely to be back again. Apologies for the delay in coming back. I think it's been around 4 to 5 months. In that time, I've had a baby. Well, my wife did. So yeah, it's been fun. But I'm glad to be back. Very brief, but I've taken some notes down from the Bedfordshire Police website today in regards to crime statistics for the Biggleswade area. These are the latest reported statistics. So that would be for April. May comes out sort of towards the end of June, and it filters through. So we should see May towards the next few days. In terms of all crimes that were reported in the month of April, it was 129 in total. The most reported crimes were violent crimes at 41, antisocial behaviour at 22, shoplifting at 13, criminal damage at 3, and bike theft at 4. Hotspot areas for Biggleswade area are the High Street and the roads sort of surrounding the High Street area, London Road towards the A1, and roads sort of near the B659 as you head towards sort of the main roads in that direction. Also, I don't know if people are aware, but there is a Biggleswade police team in the area. The sergeant for that team is Sergeant Adam Sugden, with a team of 9 of constables and PCSOs who work with Biggleswade as their priority. And that's what I've got for the moment. Is there any questions from anyone?
Lovely, thank you, PC Bear. Are there any questions or comments from colleagues? Councillor Woodhead.
It won't come out in the statistics you've obviously just read out because they've happened more recently, but clearly there's been a bit of a spate of robberies involving commercial premises in the town that you may well be aware of. I suspect it's one person or one gang doing all of them, and obviously it's causing there must be at least 6 or 7 businesses that have been robbed or attempted robberies over the past 3 weeks, and I just I mean, you don't need to give a necessary response now because I'm sure it's been investigated, but just to factor that into what I think in some of the stats you were given were quite sort of modest, but I suspect there may be a spike coming in next month, and just to, I guess, to warn you, but also just what else we can do as a community and a council to help with that and help you catch the perpetrators, I guess.
Yeah, very good question. Ideally, I mean, the thing for everyone to be aware of is vigilance. There are neighbourhood watch schemes that can be put in place. If there's not one already, that would be a great opportunity for one to be put in place going forward. I've discovered in my research and looking to the Biggleswade that there was information placed on the neighbourhood watch scheme website, which goes into detail about some of the crimes. It's a basic description, but it does provide information and it does show where those crimes are being sort of not targeted as such, but where they are popping up more frequently. So people who live in those communities, they might benefit from being more aware. And the number one thing that we do is we would like to work with the community. Our intel comes from the wonderful people who live here. So having you as a resource that we can use to allocate our resources in turn is massively beneficial. Because if we're being told this area, we keep seeing problems here, we'll make sure that we keep going there. And that way we can move the problem along, but also stop the problem. But it'll be interesting to see in the next month, as you say, and that will, if it's the same areas in particular, that'd be interesting going forward.
Thank you. Councillor Knight.
Thank you very much for coming, and congratulations on the birth of your child. Obviously, I don't expect you to comment on operational matters in a public meeting, but just really to echo what Councillor Woodhead said. So, I've spoken to a number of publicans and business owners in town who have had late night robberies or attempted robberies or burglaries in the last month, typically sort of between the hours of 1 or 2 a.m. So I'm not sure a neighbourhood watch would be that effective at that sort of time. It seems to be people who know it's quiet between sort of 1 and 2 a.m. I think most concerning is one of the publicans had some CCTV footage. I know we contacted our CCTV provider, and I understand they've found some footage as well. But as far as I'm aware, the police haven't contacted Herts CCTV to request that footage, and the publican concerned has been unable to get a visit from the police to actually show them the footage that they've captured and progress the investigation. So I think there's some concern, particularly amongst the pub community, that the police aren't necessarily responding to these incidents and coming out and doing everything possible to make sure the perpetrators are caught.
That is surprising and disappointing. End of the day, like I say, we're a criminal justice organisation. We're a public facing and public servicing organisation. So it'd be nice to hear that we're at least doing the bare minimum at some point, which would be, gathering evidence. Leave that to me. If you can send me the information, I think my email details are around, I can chase that up and I can make sure that the appropriate team make sure that that evidence is gathered, particularly if it's causing distress within the community. We can chase that up and get that sorted.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further comments from colleagues or questions? No, I think actually Councillor Woodhead and Councillor Knight have summarised it quite nicely, actually, where a lot of the challenges I don't know whether the data echoes it entirely, but you did mention the high street. And I think one of the really hard things for small businesses who perhaps don't have the resources to secure their premises in the way that some of the bigger ones on the retail park do, is that makes them a natural target. And we try to do our bit with CCTV. So I know we have a good partnership with the police, but hopefully these crimes don't carry on in the way that they have been. But if they do, hopefully we can make sure we work together to catch those culprits. So is there anything else you'd like to add, or is that all, PCB?
That's all for now.
Lovely. Thank you so much for coming along, and thank you for updating us on all those statistics, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you ever so much. Please either feel free to stay, or you don't have to for the rest of the meeting. It's entirely up to you if you have somewhere to be. All right. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Right, we move on then. So item 6, members' questions. Do any members have any questions? No members' questions. Okay. Item 7, so minutes and recommendation from meetings. So we need to receive the minutes of the Town Council meeting held on the 14th of June 2022. So we're going to go through them first of all for accuracy. So page 1 of the minutes is also page 6 of our pack. So I'm on page 6, please, for accuracy. Any comments on page 6? No. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, and page 14. Oh, Councillor Russell.
The minute of the exempt item on page 14 gives an inaccurate impression. It says that the auditor report with additional information would be returning to a future town council meeting. It is not an auditor report. It sounds as if there was a problem with one of our internal audit reports, which there certainly wasn't, and we have the latest one on the agenda today. So what we did discuss was the tender, because it's good practice to tender fairly regularly for these kinds of roles, the tender that we've put out for internal auditors. So I think, if I may, I'd suggest that the minute reads that the report on appointment of internal auditors would be discussed at a future council meeting with the additional information requested.
Thank you. I think that's right. That is an important minute, and getting that written down properly is very important. So I personally am comfortable with that, and we'll consider that when we move the minutes as a whole. So that's fine. Thank you, Councillor Russell. If I might just, sorry, I have missed one myself on page 13. If I could just jump back. So this is item. Oh God, where are the numbers and letters on this? Okay, I'm going to go for 49.6 because we have a new way of codifying this. So the Garden Communities Project Board, I think the first line of that needs to change to members received a presentation on the progress of the Garden Communities Project Board and future plans. So it was really an update on a discussion which has taken place there, which came to us for information. So I think we just need to be clear that we weren't formally considering something else which sat elsewhere. So subject to those two changes, is somebody comfortable moving those minutes as a correct record? Thank you, Councillor Foster. Is there any dissent, any issue? No, then these are adopted. Thank you. Item 7B, so these are the minutes of the Town Centre Management meeting held on Tuesday the 17th of May. We don't go through them for accuracy or anything, but Councillor Knight, do you have any comment on these?
No comment, thank you.
All right, thank you. Item 7C, the minutes of the Biggleswade Joint Committee meeting held Tuesday the 21st of April at the offices of the Town Council. Councillor Foster, did you have any comment on these as the chairman of that committee? Sorry, microphone.
Sorry, thank you, Father. I've got no particular comments. If anyone wants to ask any questions, happy to do so. But essentially, it's a record of the meeting that took place.
Okay. Any questions on either of these minutes, Councillor Russell?
It's not a question, but as Vice Chairman, I'd just like to say that there are several items within those minutes which give actions, a forthcoming meeting and information to come to the Town Council, and none of that's happened yet, so we'll have to chase it.
Thank you, Councillor Russell. I'm sure our staff have noted that, and a note from the minutes that a number of them were in the meeting as well, and we are doing our best to build relations with central beds officers, so I'm sure they will follow up on that, given that that was 3 months ago, that meeting, so thank you. Okay, I will move on then to item 8, which is matters arising. Again, we're back at the Town Council minutes from the 14th of June. So we're on page 8 of the, page 6 of the pack. So we're going through for matters arising. So any matters arising on page 6? No. Page 7? Page 8? Page 9? Page 10? Page 11? Page 12, page 13, Councillor Bond.
Item about the Queen's Jubilee celebration, about the premises licence. Can we have an update as regarding the progress made regarding applying for premises licence?
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
So, our place shaping manager is here this evening, Isaac, and will be able to do an update in regard to that.
Evening. I've gone back and forth with some CBC officers just to clarify what the non-rateable value of the premises is, and I've had the answer that it's in the lowest band, which is £0. This would be an initial application fee of £100 with an annual fee of £70. I've also had an email from a local staging company that has made several premises license applications themselves, and they are supporting us with the application process because it's quite detailed. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for the update. I trust Councillor Pullinger.
Just to follow up to that, can we confirm, based on my comments at the last meeting, that this includes an alcohol licence as well as an entertainment licence?
Yes, we'll be exploring that.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think this is very much in hand. I understand that the process for applying for a license, a premises license, is not as drawn out as some might have feared. I think this should be possible within a couple of months to 3 months, right? So I trust that all being well, and with our staff putting together a good application, fingers crossed it should be okay. But clearly they are on the case, and we're grateful for that update. Thank you. Any further matters arising on page 13? No. Page 14? Okay, thank you. So we will move on. Item 9, we need to receive the accounts, and these are the, there's quite a bit to do here actually, and we're happy to take comments from members as well, of course. So item 9A is the internal audit, and it's the final report for 21-22. So the action is for members to note the internal audit and the final report for 21-22. The report should be noted prior to the adoption of the accounts and the annual governance statements and annual returns. So we need to do this in order. So internal audit, any comments or any proposals? Councillor Pullinger.
Yeah, I'm after some advice from the clerk here, because I've just noticed there is an inaccuracy in the internal audit report. The matter which it relates to is a personnel matter essentially, and therefore if we're to discuss it, we'd need to discuss under exempt. So I'm just looking for guidance as to the way forward, really.
Peter.
And I would suggest that we pick that up under exempt at the end of the meeting. Yeah.
Okay, well that confuses item 9B then, because correct me if I'm wrong, but we can't take 9B until we've considered 9A in the audit
Correct.
report.
We can.
Right.
Do that now.
Okay, so do we move all of this item 9
We push it to exempt.
into exempt? But I'm hesitant to do that because I feel as though this is Councillor Bond.
You have an alternative. You could actually move into exempt now to cover this item, then move back out.
Could do.
Is that a proposal?
I'll move that we move into exempt to
Very well.
discuss this item.
Is there a seconder for that proposal? Councillor Bond. Okay, any comments? I don't see any other way of doing this. How sensitive, is this? Very well, very well. Okay, so we have a proposal. There are no comments. Councillor Russell.
Is it actually an inaccuracy so that we can't approve the audit?
I believe so, yeah. I think.
Can you put your microphone on, please?
So I believe it impacts, it's a factually incorrect statement in my view. That impacts on
Okay,
something
I
else we
think I
need to
know what you're
discuss
talking
later
about, but I
later
don't
on.
think it's inaccurate. That's why I asked
Well,
the question.
We are going to take a,
Okay.
Councillor Knight.
So obviously it's quite disruptive to move to exempt. Is it essential that this audit report is approved tonight? Could we discuss the potential inaccuracy at the end of this meeting and bring it back to the next council meeting for a public discussion?
It's got to go.
Right, it does have to be done this evening because the reports. So the proposal is that we move to exempt. I suspect this will be a very short exempt session and we will come back into open session almost immediately, within minutes, I would hope. So could I ask colleagues, could I ask that the recording is stopped? Members of the public and others, please to... Oh, yes, we will do. I beg your pardon. Sorry, Councillor Strawn. All those in favour of moving into exempt session, could you please show? Right, that is carried. Any against? Yes, I thought it is carried. Sorry. Thank you. We can invite members back in a few moments' time.